Hello, hello. Bl'Artagnan here with Cloudy with a Chance of Meteor, the GL exclusive Charlotta LD Lufenia Plus fight. We're bringing a no synergy team featuring Machina, Ketchi, and Ramza with a Garnet friend. That means we have no synergy, and that means no Selphie anywhere on the team, which is kind of neat, I think. Selphie, of course, is completely busted, and was really good in this stage in particular. This is a hard fight, especially if you don't bring synergy. Selphie in particular, she just absolutely wrecks this fight, but without her, it's a lot trickier. And so I had to do a few little experimentations to figure out a setup that actually works here. It's kind of surprising to say a team with Machina, Garnet, and Ramza on it feels like the underdog tricky like hipster team, but here we are. Oh, of course, before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, leave a comment down below, and enjoy the ride. So why are we bringing Ketchi here? Well, the main reason is his lucky girl there, as you can see, does not have brave hits. It also deals respectable damage, batteries the party, and of course gives that sweet crit gain buff. Also, he has a bunch of generic buffs that helps with Ramza's BT effect. This will not be coming up, as you will see. You'll see what I mean by that later. So right now, the entire purpose of what I'm trying to do right now is set up for Machina's BT phase without getting into a position where the Behemoth's orb is just going to blow me up. So we've brought Garnet in here, and we're actually going to HP attack with her. Just basic HP attack, no stance, no nothing, because she has a ton of brave hits. Between her overhead and all of her AoE attacks, everything is a bunch of brave hits, and none of it is able to hit the orb requirement, which is 850,000 HP damage per target. So we had to just HP attack there. We actually ate an orb attack from the robot, which is kind of annoying, but there it is. And so we're going to go in the summon because the Behemoth is at 1 now, and so there's no real way to get past it other than to summon a burst. And unfortunately, we were 1 turn away from Machina being able to go, so here we are. If we had a couple more turns of orb, I could have Ramza BT'd and gone into the Machina BT, and it would have been great, but c'est la vie. Instead, we have to hop into the summon here and just try to burst the orb up as high as we can. Once again, as you can see here with Garnet, can't do the enough damage to boost the orb, so she's just going to deal a bunch of damage with her LD, and her overhead is going to actually tick down the orb as well, so that's kind of a shame. Or not tick down the orb, but not tick up the orb, I should say. We actually have Rydia Call here. Reason being, I wanted to be able to dodge the robot's orb attack. In fact, a lot of good that did me a second ago, but here it is. Now I have 3 turns of evasion. That'll be handy too, because once we get out of this summon, the Behemoth is going to turn warp. At 50 and 30%, he immediately jumps to the front of the turn. Similar to the Emperor fight, I believe. He warps his turn to the front and takes like 3 consecutive turns. And so it's going to be annoying. We don't want to have to deal with it, but we have to. So I was trying to figure out how to make this work. We ended up just using an A with Ramza. I was greedy. I was hoping I could go ahead and use his burst on his turn. But as you can see here, Garnet's overhead went off, and Ramza is forced to use another LD in order to keep us from dying to the Behemoth orb. The big tricky part of this fight really is that Behemoth orb, because it counts down 3 every time it takes brave damage, and only goes up by 2 if you can deal enough damage to it. So anyway, we're in the burst now, and that orb is finally going to be going up. But the goal here is for that Behemoth to not walk out of this burst phase intact. We have the Rain's Call and everything. Man, sure would have been nice to have Selphie instead of having to use Rain's Call, since Rain's brave hits everything. It feels weird being in here without the Ramza's BT effect in play, but that's okay. We'll have a chance to use Ramza's BT later, I'm sure. For those of you who are struggling with this fight and have Ramza and Machina, I was able to pull this same run off, but with Selphie friend instead of Garnet, and it was super smooth. I actually used Edward as my my unique weapon type to satisfy the Abyss lockout requirement thingy, and that worked like a charm. So if you're struggling with this, Machina, Ramza, and someone with a unique weapon who swaps out for Selphie friend should do you just fine. Let me know in the comments if you want to actually see that playing out in practice. I'm happy to share with it how that run went, but it's a lot like this one, just with less jiggery pokery involving pressing Garnet's basic HP attack and spamming Ramza LD and never pressing Ramza burst. So here, I forgot that Ramza's burst existed. I thought that I already pressed it, didn't, so we used the EX instead of the burst. That's just how it goes sometimes. Trying to decide what I want to do here. And I decided, screw it. We'll just turn jump up real quick. As you can see, the radio call dodges the orb attack. Doesn't really do anything for us at this stage of the game, but it's nice to see that it does that. Let me go ahead and Lucky Girl real quick. Thanks, Ketchi, getting to help us out there. Finally, pressing that Ramza burst attack. We've been waiting for this. Ultima, here we go. Broom! There we go. Well, there you have it. Absolutely 0 selfies used here, which I'm pretty proud of. Didn't expect I'd be able to pull that off. And that Garnet needs to work on their arts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.